Clinging to familiar pain is when a person stays where they are, even though they are unhappy. What's interesting is this: most people know they are unhappy, yet they still don't change. This isn't because of laziness or lack of courage. It's because of how the brain works. Later in this video, I'll also explain the practical remedy for this pattern. For the human brain, the most important thing is not happiness. Its main priority is safety. Anything familiar, even if it causes pain, is perceived by the brain as safe. That's because familiar pain is predictable. You roughly know when it will come, how long it will last, and how it will end. The unknown, on the other hand, is perceived as a threat, even if it carries the possibility of something better. That's why people often do the following. They stay in a job they don't like and say, "At least I have stability." They stay in a relationship they're no longer happy in and think, "What if it gets worse if I leave?" They're dissatisfied with their life, but postpone change by saying, "Now is not the right time." If these sentences sound familiar to you, you're most likely inside familiar pain. This pattern doesn't change from country to country. Cultures may differ, but the mechanism is the same. The human brain codes anything it can't control as danger. That's why a predictable pain often feels safer than an unpredictable happiness. People who cling to familiar pain share a very common trait. There is no major crisis in their lives, but there is a slow, ongoing depletion of energy. The pain isn't intense enough to force them to leave, and the hope isn't clear enough to pull them forward. And most of the time, this state is labeled as patience, responsibility, or being realistic. In reality, it's often just a postponed form of giving up. There's a crucial point here. Letting go of familiar pain isn't just about leaving a situation. It also means letting go of an identity. The version of yourself that says, "This is who I am," will change. The brain perceives this as a threat to identity and creates resistance. That's why people say they want to change, but don't. I'll explain the remedy for this in a moment. But first, let's be clear about something. You can't exit familiar pain through logic alone, because what creates this loop isn't logic, it's the brain's need for safety. Now let's get to the remedy. The most effective way to leave familiar pain is not to try to change your entire life at once. The brain interprets large change as danger and pulls you back. That's why what actually works is taking small steps that slightly disrupt safety. Not, "I'm leaving everything," but "I'm gently disturbing my usual routine." The second step is identifying the habit, not the pain. Instead of asking, "Why am I here?" ask, "Which habit keeps me staying here?" Because what holds familiar pain in place isn't emotion, it's routine. The third and most critical step is giving the brain a new sense of predictability. That means not leaving the unknown completely undefined. Small plans, short-term experiments, steps that allow the option to return. When the brain feels safe, resistance decreases. In short, leaving familiar pain isn't about courage, it's about scale. A person doesn't become free by changing their life in a single day, but by making their familiar pain slightly less familiar, day by day. And most of the time, transformation doesn't begin with a dramatic break, but with a small, deliberate shift in the right place.